Good evening. Hello, everybody. I'm Krasiattasio. ASHWIN BALAJI is with me again to continue our prognosis for our money, our finances from 1st of 15th of January. ASHWIN is Vedic ancient astrologer, but he's also very much into the financial markets because this is his second profession. So that's why he's the very right advisor. Yes. So Ashwin, please, let's start and tell us what are the tendencies with the markets and how the sky is reflecting them.
As you know, firstly, I apologize for not coming up with the cryptocurrency thing like someone requested. I think cryptocurrency will be a very good addition to what we are doing here. But still, I didn't have enough time to do some research on cryptocurrency, and I just hope it will be in place for Jan 15th or February bi-monthly stuff.
So 15th of January, 30th of January, we will make analysis on the cryptocurrencies. All right.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. So, but still, to give a basic idea of how things have been like faring about in terms of talking of cryptocurrencies, is Saturn's entry into Sagittarius kind of triggered the sudden movement of cryptocurrency, and Saturn's way into Mula. As and when Saturn kind of passed through the Mula Nakshatra, cryptocurrency saw a downfall, and now it is quite evident that so many people have pulled their money out of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency, where it is not entirely advisable as it was before 6 or 7 months. So that's a basic ideology that I wanted to bring about in terms of talking of cryptocurrency. And the other thing is we have an eclipse, solar eclipse that is coming about on, like, it's tomorrow. It's already 1 a.m. in India, and it's tomorrow. It's on 5th. We have a solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse in Sagittarius. So this could probably be the beginning of yet another ride of cryptocurrencies or other, like, not so conventional things in market, or probably even black market. But the problem here is that the planets are placed in, like, Saturn and Sun are placed in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is the sign of righteousness. So at the end of the day, it is not going to be entirely good to stay invested in cryptocurrencies or any other black market related stuff. I'm not meaning to say that cryptocurrency is black market, but still, whichever market is not regulated is probably not the best idea to stay invested for a reasonable period of time. And reasonable period of time kind of differs to each and every person based upon their risk-taking ability. However, having said that, I don't think it is advisable to get into cryptocurrencies at this point of time, and especially Ketu just about to enter Sagittarius in a due course of time, probably by the end of February or early March. So the energy is not as favorable as we would think for cryptocurrency, but still, Sun is placed in Sagittarius, and it is time when government related stocks or public sector stocks of various markets, various global markets will see a sudden check, and especially with the solar eclipse here, we will see a little bit of correction. So and there will also be new beginnings in terms of listings, like government related listings in the stock market across the globe. I mean, across the global indices. So it is going to be a kind of mixed period that we are talking about. So we see that Jupiter and Venus are placed in Scorpio. So what does Jupiter and Venus talk about? See, Venus is a planet that represents cosmetics and other luxury related stuff. So it is that period of time where, for example, I don't know if I really don't know much of cosmetic corporates that are listed, but I'm sure there are so many corporates that I know the Indian corporates that are doing well in cosmetic industry are being listed in the cosmetics industry. But still, I'm not sure how things are in the global market related to the cosmetics and other luxury related stuff. But still, I'm sure there is going to be a penetrating dip in terms of those kind of industries. But still, it is also going to be an expansion as Venus moves ahead in Scorpio and forms a conjunction with Jupiter. As and when Venus goes close to Jupiter, things will start expanding, and the stocks related to Venus, which could even be transport and communication. Let's not forget that Venus also signifies transport to some extent. So it is actually logical to say that transport related stocks will actually fare well as and when Venus moves close to Jupiter. Scorpio is also the natural eighth house, so we could see that insurance related stocks will do well, and especially Venus signifies women, so women could find this period a little bit luckier than men, not in literal sense, but still hopefully.
Ashwin, sorry to interrupt, but we're talking about Scorpio, and this
Yeah,
is related to somehow to the oil prices. Saturn is
yeah.
the one who also has to do with the oil prices, and right now Saturn is combust, invisible. How do you see the oil prices going?
Um, yeah, Scorpio is the natural eighth house, and it signifies all the deep hidden things like minerals and other metallurgy related industries, other mining stuff that are actually deep under the ground, are signified by Scorpio. And you are right in terms of saying about Saturn, but still we have two natural benefits in Scorpio, and that is probably going to ease the problem that Saturn's combustion is going to have. But still, um, as and when Sun and Saturn come into a very close conjunction, it is going to be a Kazimi, and we might see a surprising hike in terms of oil and other prices. It could probably be a beginning of reasonable run, an upward run in terms of oil prices and other minerals. And if you're really into commodities market, and you can probably bet in terms of minerals, because Jupiter and Venus are placed in Scorpio, and Mars is placed in trine. So Jupiter and Mars are currently in mutual exchange. Mars is the ruler of Scorpio, and there is a mutual exchange. So we'll see a lot of uncertainty being broken here in terms of how markets will fare in the first 2 weeks of January. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it, because we also see that Jupiter and Venus is probably forming a sextile with Ketu, and that is yet another positive aspect that we can see, because uh, it is good for I mean positive in the sense in terms of reducing your losses. It's not about positive in the sense of investments or something like that, but reducing losses or cutting off your position that you're currently holding, which might actually prove to be like not so profitable, or even loss bearing in terms of relating to your own individual chart. So as much as Rahu is forming a trine with Venus, we also see a sextile with Ketu. There is a so it is better to have an neutral effect in terms of psychological perspectives about dealing with the stocks that you are going to invest in, and especially it is also a very good period to come out of some stock or close your position in some stock which you have been thinking that might hike, or that might have an upward run, which probably might not be the case. So it's good to close some positions that you've been holding for a long time.
How about gold and silver?
Gold. Okay, silver is going to do well. Silver is surely going to do well. Venus is placed in Scorpio, and it will be a surprising do well thing. It's not going to be a very we might expect that silver is not going to do well, but still silver is going to surprise us. Not in terms of running ahead with its points or prices, but still it will surprise us in terms of sustaining the hike that it is getting over this period of time. But gold, I think it's going to face a suppressed period of time due to the Saturn, and Saturn is always about setting boundaries and limitations. So Saturn is kind of going to put some kind of break to gold prices, because Sun is placed in Sagittarius and Sun is going to form a conjunction, and Sun is also placed in Moola Nakshatra, and Moola Nakshatra is all about cutting things and bringing you to the roots. But that doesn't necessarily mean that gold price is going to go to the roots, but still there is going to be a little bit of check that you're going to face, and it is probably not going to take, it is not wise to take a long position in terms of gold trading, or gold commodity trading.
So right now, this is not the moment. Yes, when I looked at the charts, when the first gold trade was made in London, it was something 1919. You can see directly the impact of the eclipse. So certainly the gold prices will not be fine in January, right?
Yeah, not very lucrative in terms of trading, but still those who can get into short positions, probably it is a wise period to get into short positions when it comes to commodities market related to gold. But still long positions, I think you might want to go with silver. So you might also want to try zinc and other exotic metals or minerals, because Scorpios filled with natural benefits, and that doesn't always happen. So it's good to invest in those things that deal with the underground stuff. It's going to have a good expansion, especially as and when Venus closes in with Jupiter in terms of making a conjunction.
And gemstones as well, right?
Yeah, gemstones. I don't know. Sorry, what gemstones in the sense?
Gemstones in the sense of that also will be ruled by Venus and Scorpio.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So they are ruled by Venus and Scorpio. So if you want to purchase stones as well, I think it's probably a good time. But I think you are a better person to answer about stones and stuff. I'm not really dealing with that. But speaking from Scorpio, Venus, and Jupiter, I think that is favorable.
Favorable, but how this will impact the price? The price will be influenced in high, right? Yes, I thought so. Okay. Yeah. What else can we say for this?
Yeah, there is a square, sign square between Sagittarius and Pisces. Mars is not in its entirely best position, especially in the 7th degree. Mars is kind of lazy, but still there is a mutual exchange between Jupiter and Mars. However, there is a Saturn-Mars square, but that might facilitate in terms of sustaining the metal-related stocks, like commodities related to metals. So it's a good period, but still Sagittarius will keep a check. So you also have a check in your mind, and as and when Ketu approaches, I'm sure we'll be doing videos on Ketu's entry in Sagittarius.
This is a very serious thing. Ketu and Saturn thing.
Yeah, that's a bit long from now. I just want to make sure that we are doing everything in terms of talking about this. So I'm just checking the chart here. So Mercury moves into Sagittarius very soon, and it is happening on the day of eclipse itself. So Mercury's entry into Sagittarius is probably going to bring yet another check in terms of bank-related stocks, because Saturn is again culprit in terms of forming limitations and boundaries. So we'll see a little bit of check or downward slide in terms of bank stocks. It is a correction. It is not a downfall. It is not a crisis, but it is a correction where a particular stock might lose 10 or 15 rupees and then regain as and when Mercury moves away from Saturn. So as and when
there is
Mercury
one thing which also worried me when I saw that at the moment of the eclipse, Mercury is becoming invisible, and I see this a little bit as an ominous factor, which will impact the communication and also the trade in general. It's like everything will be slowed down a bit with this particular disappearance of Mercury, right? We may have.
Yeah, sure. And I won't be surprised if there is a technological issue related to markets that is very much in place.
Yeah, absolutely. Or
There could be some,
miscommunication or something like that.
yeah, miscommunication and losses due to miscommunication. Uh, it's pretty much on the cards. And yeah, the Mercury's entry into Sagittarius is probably a very interesting factor here, because Saturn is in 17 degrees on 5th January, which is on the eclipse, and Mercury is in just 5 degrees. So Mercury still has around 4 or 5 more degrees to get into some kind of a conjunction. And as and when, so Saturn is probably going to stay in 17 degrees mark, 17 or early 18 degrees mark, as and when Mercury passes the conjunction. But still, Mercury's movement away from the 25 degrees mark of Sagittarius is very crucial. So, and until then, it is better to just stay calm and not advisable to go long in terms of banking stocks. Uh, if you are a derivative or a speculator, you can just take short positions in terms of government or bank related stocks, and I think that would make super sense with Saturn
So you would
limiting.
say this is meaning that there is the place to invest, you're saying, in the bank
Sure,
stock.
sure.
Okay. Okay.
Sure, the speculators can take short position, and investors can just wait until until 21st or 22nd of January to see Mercury move away from Saturn.
All right. Oh yes, Mercury with Saturn, of course, yes. All right. Maybe we conclude with this until the next 2 weeks prognosis for the markets. Please feel free to ask questions in relation to markets, which we forgot to cover, but it's not possible to cover everything, of course. And next time
Sure.
we'll talk about the cryptocurrencies, because it is really very interesting. And many people asked me, I also made market prognosis, and many people ask me the same about the cryptocurrency. So it seems that the interest is not over in relation to the cryptocurrency. So we need to talk.
I think it will be there until Saturn stays in Sagittarius, and things will slow down as Saturn moves into Capricorn. But I think we still have an year to see that.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Ashwin, and see you next time. Thank you.